This video we're going to cover the theme options panel for Enchanted. To get there, at the very bottom left, you just want to click the theme options. That's where I'm at right now. The first thing you're going to notice is that we can upload the site's logo right here. We can also upload a favicon. Pretty easy. Just make sure you take a 16 by 16 file, upload it. It does not matter if you're actually ending in the ICO or not. You can actually upload a JPEG. As long as it's small enough, this thing is going to take care of it for you. And you can see right here the little favicon and the actual tab of the browser. We can do meta information, and that is the meta and description keywords that you can put for SEO. We can obviously do the footer, and that would be your copyright. If we go to the homepage tab, we have two sections, a slider, and what's really important is the About Page ID. And the About Page ID is this little blurb that we have sitting right below the main banner, the main image gallery rotator right here. So how do we get this section of text to show up? This is actually pulling from a page. Okay, so what we want to do is enter this page ID for this into that little section, the actual ID number right here. Okay, so this page into that field here. So to do that, we just go to Pages. We click on the one that we want to add, just like you're going to edit it. And now if you look up in the URL, your address bar, you're going to see a number. That number is your ID. In this case, it's number 2. So I simply took that number 2 and I drop it in right there. It's now pulling that section of text. Below that, we have slider type. We have 2 slider types. We can do a slide or a fade. And you can also set the time of animation, not the actual time it takes to change to the next picture, but how long the actual effect to slide or the fade to the next picture in the rotation. Last in this general tab area is vendors, and I'm not going to cover that in this section. I'm actually going to cover vendors in a separate video. I may even break that section into 2 videos, but again, I'm not going to cover that right now. If you're looking to go over the vendors tutorial, please look for another video covering that section. Next is layout settings. What we have is background color and background pattern, and basically how this works is they work together. You can, by default, choose a color and have it work with a pattern. So let's say you choose these dots. Now, if we save this, now we have a dot pattern. Now let's say you want to choose a color. Let's say it's a blue. The blue background color is not going to overwrite your pattern. So if you choose a color, let me say that again, your color is not going to cover up your pattern. And to kind of show you what I mean is if we come to the front end and I open up the little mini panel here and just let's enter a color. Let's go ahead and do a blue, hit enter. Now I have a blue. Now what you've noticed is I still have the cross hatches in here. And if I change these patterns, the blue won't go away, but it'll change different shades just simply based on the fact of what the pattern is colored in, the base pattern. Okay, hope that makes sense. And that's the same thing for here. If you select a pattern, make sure you choose the color that you want to go with it. Now if you wipe out this, then there's no color. It's going to go based on the pattern. Hope that makes sense. And also we have a theme color. So to work with these background patterns, we have a theme color, just like you see here as well. So if I choose pink, the ribbons are changing and everything else is changing to go with that pink, but this background is not changing. So it's going to be up to you to play with it and select what works with you. And in fact, it's going to give you multiple options and different settings that you can actually use on the site. Okay, below that we have our hyperlink color. This is not before rollover, or excuse me, this is not after rollover, it's before rollover. So, to indicate a hyperlink. We set that here by simply highlighting in here, drag this around, choose your color. Below that we have hyperlink underline. Do you want it to be underlined before rollover or not? Basically to indicate it's a link. Below that we have our hyperlink hover color, so if they roll over it's a change color. Below that we have hyperlink hover underline. When they actually hover, do you want it to underline or not? And then again, like I said, below that is the theme color, the actual layout colors for all the sections. Pretty easy to use. Next section are social settings. Basically, this comes with 5 icons. The icons only show if you enter in a URL. So if I do not enter in a URL, this Facebook icon won't show up. So I've wiped it out. I'm going to save it. Hit OK. Refresh my page. Now we notice Facebook is no longer there. Okay, let me get that back to normal. Okay, last but not least, typography. Self-explanatory. We include all the header tags in here and the paragraph font. So you can actually come in here and select your font, as well as select your color for the fonts. Okay, that's going to do it for this one.